Hi guys, so today I want to work with the new Spellbinders APG Sweet Cardlets 2 a little birdie set. I had an idea the other day when I had used them to make these cards. And I had mentioned that sometimes we use our foil plates like for embossing, like dry embossing, just to use them a different way. But then I thought today maybe I'll stamp with them. So it's going to be the basic same thing, but not with foiling, okay? But look how pretty these are. Love them. So I think it's going to be kind of quick and pretty easy, and looking for paper to stamp, and then I'm going to use the little bird. And so these items were sent free of charge from Spellbinders, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I do have another heads up about Spellbinders as far as that they changed some of the club kit, the way you sign up or skip, basically. I talked about it before, but just make sure to read those that information there on the club kit page if you want more info about it. But basically, instead of skipping, let's say, you know, you rather pass on one of the club kits, but maybe pick something else up or however, but let's just say you want to pass on one, you would cancel that membership for the month and then sign up again the next month if it's something you want to pick up the next time around. So definitely read about it because they are having some different timing, the way they do like on the 5th and the 15th, if you're part of the club membership that goes out earlier in the month or later. So just check that out, okay? So anyway, when I was looking for a paper, I came across this, and I'm not even sure when I did this, but it's really pretty. I must have done some kind of background and then just used this to suck it up. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to use this today in this card. So this will be the background somehow. But I did find a little scrap of like... what's it called? Like coloring cards, something, because I'm going to use alcohol ink markers today with this one. We'll try it out. And of course, this little guy, he is the foil plate. So this is what you would use in your foiling machine. And then we have the die that coordinates. So I'm going to use the die in just a minute. Let me put these to the side. But for right now, and hopefully this works, this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm just going to ink it up. I'm going to place my paper on it very carefully and hopefully get that image. So I'm going to use the squid ink, the hybrid ink pad. Use whatever ink you like. This one you can use with water-based markers and with alcohol ink markers, and it has more of a tooth to it, a little grittier, so I think it's going to hold on to the die better than if you would just use a regular die ink, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. We'll see. So as you can see, it's inking up there. I really want it all over, and so sorry if I move my camera. I noticed it's been shaky sometimes. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to put this on here very carefully, just lay it down. And I'm actually going to use a stamp chucky to help me smooth this out, because I don't really know exactly where he is, hopefully. Hey, look at that. Aww. So I'm going to let this dry. I always say I let it dry. I don't know if it needs drying time, but I always let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go wipe this off. I don't want that ink to stay on here. Okay. I'll be right back. And came off really nicely there. Put that on my magnetic carrier. And I just chose some colors just to color him in blue again, just kind of like I did in the other one. The other one I used water-based markers. This time I'm using some darker things and darker alcohol ink markers, but they are a little darker than the other. So I'm just going to start off with like this ultramarine. Again, I need to spend more time looking at birds, but I'm just going to add that. That's the darker blue. I'm going to take the lighter blue and kind of blend that out a little bit. And I'm just going to go around this little guy, just adding color. I might go bring in a lighter blue because this was kind of deeper than I thought. And just go in and adding color to him, his little head, his little beak. I usually start with the lighter color and then go into darker, but when it's such a small area, I don't mind going in with the darkest and then pulling out the color with the lighter. Okay, so I'm just going to color him in like I would color anything with alcohol ink markers, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm good with that. And then I'm just going to take the die and cut him out. And this one's really easy to work with because you can see pretty much the whole area that's just around there. So you just put a little tape and run it through your die cutting machine. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have our little bird. Just cut out perfectly there. I did cut down this paper. It was 8 1/4 already because it must have been a European size paper that I was using. So I cut it to 3 1/4. And what I'm going to do is take the hem stitch die, but not the outer one. The outer one does cut you 8 1/2 by 3 1/2, which mats over an 8 1/2 by 3 1/2 inch slimline perfectly if that's what you want. I'm just going to use this inner piece. So I'm going to cut those little bits, the little hem stitch out of that. And actually I'm going to reuse this because, you know, I like to do that. So let me reuse this little piece of tape here. And we don't want this to move. So, you know, just put whatever tape. But this, I think, is a Distress Oxide background. I mean, that's what it looks like. I have a feeling I made a background. I probably squirt some water, so it was some left on my surface. And all I did was just dip this paper in there just to catch that. So I will roll this through my die cutting machine. And then I think I'm going to put this, because we have our little bird, you know, he's kind of just there. I think I'm going to use this guy, and I think my card base is going to be made out of black paper just to make it look real stark, and I like that kind of thing. So this is 8.5, right, because of standard issue size paper. It's 8.5 by 7. I'm going to score it at 3.5, so it makes my slimline base. And the rest of the paper that was left on here, I'm going to cut this guy out. So the whole thing, also with the hem stitch. And I just tape that down so it doesn't move, and I'll run it through all at once. So I have a piece that is like this little strip that we can also use, probably behind the little bird, just to give it a little something to kind of ground him. Okay, I'll be back. I just want you to hear this as I'm removing it. That sounds real good. Ooh, I love it. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we have this guy. Let me remove this. And remove this. It just sounds so good. Okay, so I have my card base. I am going to completely just glue this down on here. I'm kind of paying attention, you know, the design. I chose the area that was more green than blue because I figured that would get some different coloring in instead of blue and blue and blue, you know. So I did that. We'll probably put this on here, and then we'll put our sentiment on here too. So I'm just trying to see like where I would want this to be. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to glue this down, and I'll be right back. So I have that all glued down. And so I got my sentiments. I'm going to try to stamp this also just like what we did. I'm not sticking this down or anything. It's just sitting there. I just put a little birdie told me I'm using the grid lines to kind of help me keep it lined up. I have a scrap piece of paper here that doesn't matter how I put it on here. I'm going to cut it how I want. And I'm going to cut it with, you know, a trimmer because I want it to sit right inside of that little frame that we just made for it. So it's just white paper. And let's ink this up very carefully. And if it moves, I'll put it back where I want it, right? Right now we're just trying to get ink on it. What a little birdie told me. It's time to celebrate. Again, I'm kind of holding it with one hand so it doesn't move. So when it lays down, it doesn't like jump or skip or do something funky. I'm just gonna go over this, making sure hopefully I'm hitting all the spots. Don't really know where the sentiment ends. Is it way over here? Yeah, it's pretty good. Aww. Okay, so I'm going to take this to my guillotine. I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to measure this, the inside portion. Where is my ruler? And I'm just going to cut down that piece to fit inside here, to kind of mat inside here. So from very edged, I don't really want that. I want it to be kind of more in. So I will cut this down to 5 3/4. I think it's good. 5 3/4 by just over 3/4. So 5 3/4 by just over 3/4. And I'll be back. Okay. As you can see, my paper, you know, it was pretty straight, the words. And how I did it to cut it out is I just kind of went around my guillotine and I kind of let part of the guillotine, like this line here, kind of show me that it was even. You know what I'm saying? The top of my letters were all even, hitting that same area when I was cutting. So that way I kept it pretty straight every time I cut. So not bad. Very, very cute. So as I went around, I just made sure there was something that was keeping it even for me, you know, if it was the grid marks or the very edge there. So I think that works out. Yeah, pretty good. Aww. I love it. And I was going to put the little bird here, I think, and then we'll add some little, something sparkly or something over here. Cute. Okay, I'm going to leave it flat. I'm going to put some dimensional adhesive on the back of him. I'll glue this down and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I have a little dimensional adhesive on this little guy. Oh my gosh, so cute. He's just a cute little bird because he's all chubby. There's that guy. And then I was looking at some of these gems. Last time I used these are kind of opalescent, so pretty, and I think today I'll use these guys. And again, these Color Essential gems are glass, so they just have a really, really nice feel to them. And again, I love when they're on a carrier like this, so you can kind of look through and see. That guy's really big. I'll go with this in second size. So pretty. And then maybe this little guy. And then one of the tinier ones. So cute, and just a little something on that one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Just a little something different you can do very easily. Yeah, I'm super happy with it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for my review. I'll have some pictures there for you, links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.